Hey, good afternoon, kids. It's Mr. Coyne, school social worker in District 65, where I work at Lincoln and Washington. Today is Friday, April 10.
Yes, it is.
It's really our fourth week of e-learning. We're just coming off of our spring break.
Wow, that quick.
And this is Doggy Loo Storytime.
Nice.
And our story today is being told by Senor Felix. And welcome, Mr. Felix.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, kids. Buenas tardes.
I'll go ahead and start by just getting us a candle going. And all the kids know to be safe when it comes to fire. We never play with fire.
Yes, most definitely.
But if the parents allow them to, they can light candles, but they need to have adult supervision and always blow out the candle before leaving the room.
Yes.
Okay, Doggy Loo. All right, kids. Let's everybody settle down. Body still, ears listening, eyes watching, and voices quiet. Mr. Felix, I invited you to speak, and I appreciate you so much being willing to tell a little bit about your story.
Oh, I'm happy to be here to share a little bit about my story on how I got to the United States.
And I get an opportunity to work with many children here in Evanston, and many of them come from different countries, really from all over the world. And for some of them, they know zero English. This is a totally unfamiliar culture, and their whole family or partial family moves here, and then all of a sudden they're in school learning, and it's not easy. But I have found that Evanston is a better place because of that cultural depth and diversity and having people from around the world. And I understand you actually were born in a different country.
Yes, I was.
Could you tell us a little bit about where you grew up as a young child?
Yeah, I was born in Guatemala. That's Central America. That's the country right under Mexico. We border with Mexico, Belize, El Salvador, and I think it's Honduras.
Okay.
I came to the United States, it was February 5th of 1981. My mom brought us here. It was my brother and 4 sisters, 5 of us. Neither of us knew a word of English.
Wow.
So we were coming to a different country where we didn't know what was going to be like.
In 1981?
1981.
And how old were you?
I was 10 years old.
Oh my goodness. 4th grade.
About 4th grade, yes.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things was that I didn't know what it was going to be like. Starting school here, not speaking the language. There were many challenges with that. One of the biggest challenges was leaving my friends back in Guatemala. My young years were over there. But when I came here and we started going to the public schools in Boston, Massachusetts, there were also people who didn't speak the language. So we kind of had something in common. I was able to communicate with them in Spanish. But it was fun. It was fun. There's a lot of challenges, but if you're willing to take on those challenges, you succeed.
And do you recall your mom, she came here and without your father, is that correct?
Yes.
Was he working back home in Guatemala?
They were divorcing.
I see.
And my mom had already been here for, I think, a few years.
I see. So you were able to join her then?
Yes.
And what kind of work was your mom doing then?
At the time, my mom used to work for an Avon company in a factory.
In a factory?
And I'm pretty sure you guys probably have heard about Avon at some point or another.
Is it like makeup or something?
Makeup, perfumes.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a catalog. Yeah, but yeah, that was her work. And we lived in Boston like for 8 months. And then due to work, my mom's friends told her that there was a work here in Chicago.
Oh.
So we ended up moving from Boston to Chicago in 1981. It was still 1981.
Oh, so.
Yeah, we lived there for 8 months. So 81, we came to Chicago. I think it must have been like October.
So maybe your 5th grade now was here in Chicago area.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it was. It was at I went to Ravenswood School.
Mm-hmm.
That's on I think that's on Montrose,
Yep.
Montrose and Ashland, somewhere there. Then after that, graduated from there and went to McPherson
Okay.
Middle School. And then after that, we moved to Evanston. It was like 1983 or 84.
You moved to Evanston.
We
The
moved to
whole
Evanston.
family, your mom and your 4 siblings and you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then we got enrolled in the public schools here, and I attended Chute Middle School, and that's where I met my wife, Emma.
Oh.
So we're like middle school sweetheart.
Sweetheart. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And yeah, we've been married now for 25 years. We have 4 children and 1 granddaughter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you met your wife in Chute Middle School.
Yes.
Did you know at the time, or I don't know if anybody knows what's going on when they're in middle school?
No, I didn't know. All I knew is that when I saw her, I liked her a lot.
And where did she grow up? Did she grow up in Evanston?
No, she came from El Salvador.
From El Salvador.
Yeah, which El Salvador is the next country under Guatemala. We border.
I see.
Yes.
And Mr. Felix, some of our kids, have different experiences learning how to make friends. We try to teach our kids at District 65 to treat everybody as another neighbor, another human being, regardless of their background. We try to help kids be inclusive and to include them in their games and friendships. What was it like for you developing friendships? What helped you? Were there sports or clubs, or how did you get to know other kids?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because growing up, I don't remember being bullied at school. I had a lot of friends. I never bullied anybody either.
Okay.
We were all friendly. We would get along, whether you were white, black, Hispanic, Asian, from wherever you were. There were no differences. We were all the same. We were all in school. We were all there to have fun, to learn, and just learn to get along with everybody and not judge anybody by anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was sports something you enjoyed?
I like to play soccer, and I remember that one of my favorite pastimes has been that. And when I was in middle school, recess time was one of the things that I look forward, because all my friends, we used to play soccer, and everybody would bring their ball, and we would fight about whose ball would be used. But we had fun. We all had fun. In middle school, I played soccer.
Okay.
Yeah, the soccer team. Then I went to Evanston Township High School, and I tried out for the freshman team. I didn't make it.
Okay.
It was fine. You don't always have to make it to any team, but just giving it a shot.
That's
was a good satisfaction that, I tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. Graduated from Evanston Township
you
High School
did.
too. Yes.
What year would you have graduated from Evanston Township High School?
1990. Class of 1990. Yes.
And at that point in time, you were living in what part of Evanston?
I was living right here around
Southeast
Custer,
Evanston area.
Southeast Evanston area, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And throughout high school, did you ever find work? How did you make money? Or was that not an issue for you? Did you not need to work maybe during high school?
Yeah, there was always a need to work. I didn't live with my mom. I moved out at the age of 15.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I had a part-time here and a part-time there. I used to caddy for Indian Hill Golf Club.
Sure.
That's how I made a little bit of money.
Okay.
And then, just my wife's family helped me, my last year of high school, and then just knowing my wife, Emma, now since '85, I became real good friends of her brothers, and their family really helped me out get through school. So I'm very appreciative of them doing that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And when you graduated then from high school, did you start working right away, or did you go to college, or what happened then?
One of my dreams was to go to college. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. But my other thing was that I always wanted to be a detective. So my brother-in-law in Florida was a police officer. So I moved to Florida thinking that I had a chance to probably, go to academy.
Sure.
The police academy or something, but that didn't work out.
Okay.
Soon I started working at an electrical company. And I worked there for 8 months before I ended up moving back to Evanston.
To your home.
To my home, because my lovely wife had gone there to visit, and I asked her if she wanted to get married, and she said yeah. So 4 months later, the company laid off a lot of people, and I was one of them. So I ended up moving back to Evanston, and we've been officially together back since 1981. No, 1991. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. My wife Emily and I moved to Evanston in 1992, a year after you came back, and that's when I recall first meeting you.
Yes.
And I from that moment I have continued to have the highest respect for you.
Thank you. Same here.
I think your integrity and your work ethic and your skill level in the construction field is just untouchable. It's just amazing.
Bless you.
You're like a walking encyclopedia. And I suppose you've learned that just by experience in working in different buildings here in Evanston.
Yes, I work for Riva Place Fellowship. As a young boy, doing different jobs, I got into the painting, plastering, and along the way came, plumbing, electrical, and a lot of things that you can learn in construction. I ran along the way with people, especially my boss Nevin, that has taught me different things. There hasn't been a situation that I haven't solved, and I have always, gone to him and asked him for his advice, and believe me, it has always worked. God. So it's not only you; it's the people around you. The people that are willing to show you, they are not selfish. And due to people not being selfish with me, since I was young, I'm the same way. I'm not selfish. I like to pass my knowledge along if I can. And it's not always going to work for everybody, but it's always good to know that there's somebody there that you can go to and ask them for advice.
Senor Felix, we at school are teaching that same concept, that it's about the team, it's about the whole village. So in our little classrooms, everyone's voice is important to be heard, and we help each other to grow. And that's a very important concept, I think, with District 65. So I just want you to know that the kids that are listening believe in that concept.
Oh, well, I'm glad they do, because, it takes teamwork.
That's right.
Whether you do a little bit, whether you do a lot, or you're in the middle, at the end of the day, it's teamwork.
That's right.
Yeah, teamwork. Yeah, so that's very good, and I'm glad that you guys are doing that.
Well, Mr. Felix, is there anything else you wanted to share about this? I just wanted my students to learn about your story, because I just find it fascinating, and I'm just so proud of who you are, and I'm a better person because of you, and I think our city is a better place because of you and your family. So thank you, sir.
No, thank you. And just going back a little bit about the challenges of coming to the United States, one of the biggest challenges is the language. Language, you don't know anything, but going to school, paying attention, doing your homework, reading, which I really don't like to do much, I was able to learn the language. For me, it's still a learning, every day it's learning. pronunciation, new words. Over the years, I've gotten better at it, but I think I could do better. So, but yeah, that was one of the biggest challenge. But if you put your heart into it, you can do it. There's nothing out there that you can't do if you really want to do it.
That's a great testimony,
Yes.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
with this whole virus thing going on, is your family safe? Is everybody okay?
Yes, thank God we're all safe, and I hope all of you out there are staying safe, trying to follow the guidelines. You know, we'll get through this. Together we'll get through this, and it might be an inconvenience right now, but it's got to get done, and yeah, I think we'll get through it. And then I can see all of you guys out there playing in the parks, people driving, walking their dogs a lot more. We can enjoy the beach. We can do what we need to do.
That's right.
Yeah. And another thing, I just wanted to thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
Respect you a whole lot too. And like you said, this world is better because of you too. And
We're a team.
yeah, it's teamwork.
Thank you,
Teamwork.
sir.
Thank
And
you.
kids, have a great weekend. And next week we'll start another round of Doggy Loo stories.
Yes.
It's sounding like we might be doing this for at least through the month of April and see how things develop on this virus thing.
Yes. Yes. We'll keep posting.
Thank you,
Yes.
senor.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks for having me.